stay tuned, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Cobe Rise.
It's coming for you, coming for you, It's coming for you, coming for you,
Oh Lord, do not forget the gorillas. Everyone know we the realest, a bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to feel it. You know I can straight spit, knock you out with a lady hit. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo, but this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit, huh? Ain't no gotta roll out. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I roll on to you.
What up? What up? What up? Y'all know how we get down. We are getting popping tonight. So let me turn the music down real quick. I did pose a question on IG, so I'm gonna post it for you guys on YouTube and Facebook. Question of the night is our community too big when it comes to weight and health? And I want to know why. Yes or no, and tell me your reasons why. All right. So you already know how we do. About to get the show started. What's going on, man? It's your boy Cobe Rise and Rise. Back at it again with a banger. You already know how we do. Queen City Organics. We have the Sea Moss Live and Direct. We are coming out with smaller mason jars. So the smaller mason jars are going to be about $20. It's going to be an 8-ounce jar. It's going to be an 8-ounce jar for $20. We have so many different flavors. Make sure you guys go to my IG page and you're gonna see the different flavors that we have. We do have the strawberry lemonade is back. Yes, the strawberry lemonade is back. You dig what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and get the show started because we have so much. I mean, so much to talk about. And shout out to Brittany. She says collectively, yes. So the question that I posed again, is our community too big, right? And she says collectively, yes. So now the next question after that becomes, why do you think our community is too big? Yes. And so while we're waiting on that answer, I want to pose and show the first clip. And the first clip specifically is the lady that is suing Lyft. If you guys don't know, there is a rapper. Her name is Dank DeMoss, and she's actually she again is suing Lyft for guys that don't know. So we're gonna pose, we're gonna show this clip real quick just to show a reminder, right? But she also went on the Breakfast Club, and on the Breakfast Club, she said something that was a little bit crazy, right? So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And shout out to the content creator. The content creator is Freak the Gemini. So I want you guys to follow him because we're going to use his content for this. And I think he's dope. I think he brings an interesting perspective. All right. So this is his TikTok. Excuse me, it's called Freak the Gemini. So he went in a little bit. And I just want you guys to listen to it and let me know what you guys think about this.
We got
Man, what's
Exhibit
wrong?
H, and it's the best evidence we've
Let me know
ever
if you
been
guys can hear it
given.
in the comments.
Wait and watch. Don't you skip. You better watch.
It's the only seat y'all got?
Oh!
What you want? What you need? I'm here to share something.
Oh!
Woo! Man, listen, do y'all see that? So if y'all didn't hear it, she said this is the only seat y'all got in them ghetto terms. You did. And they went and bought her a whole couch, y'all. They went and bought her a whole couch. So for y'all that are just joining in, there was a question that was posed. The question that was posed is our community too big as far as the Black community? And if that's the case, why do you think that our community is too big? So we had a couple of answers here. So shout out to Brittany Coles to the show. She says, poor eating habits, ineffective lifestyle choices. I won't disagree with that. I won't disagree with that. Shout out to Wendy. She says, yes, I would say that is so, but I have some issues of being at the table. I was raised up with my dad at the table. Imagine eating like a grown man that had an issue himself in weight. I came from, I guess, from a family, right? I presume that's what it is. So the next one is that, I came from a family that were huge, and I don't know if everybody is going through issues with their bodies and metabolism. After all these years, I am motivated to work towards that option to lose weight under professional care. So I'm glad you posed this, Whitney, because I think your story actually matches a lot of what we see in the Black community. So a lot of us in the Black community do have this issue, and we're raised this way. All right. A lot of that comes from our upbringing. Now, granted, I had a different upbringing. We weren't raised to just eat a bunch of food. Now, granted, we were told to finish our plate, but I know that there was such thing as this is what adults eat, this is what kids eat. So kids ate a kid's portion plate. So that's how I was raised up. So beg to differ. If our parents are feeding us overeating, it's safe to say that our children, and if we're the children, we're going to pick up on these type of eating habits. And it's unfortunate because that's what we're seeing today in mass, right? And so it's good that you're trying to seek professional help because that's what we're here to do. I think a lot of, well, before I continue, I'll stop it there. And I think Brittany actually had an answer to that. She says, you're not alone in this issue, but I think it's a wonderful thing that you acknowledge the struggle and you're not alone. You can definitely do this. Yes, and I agree. This is why you're here. And this is why we want to promote healthy households, because we see problems like this in our community, because that also raises the next question too. And in our community, we need to know what a normal weight is. So understand this. I think the ladies in our, well, I'm going to say ladies in general. I think ladies in general are judged more for weight and looks than most guys. I think we can culturally say that is definitely the case. What I also see is our community, we don't push fitness like we should. I think that fitness should be pushed a lot more in our society, but I'm going to bring it to now in the culture of the Western society. So now I'm taking it away from race and demographics. I'm now going to take it to the culture of in America, right? So I'm going to post and I'm going to show this particular clip when it comes to the sizes of the people today in our community, and it's on IG. So if you guys want to come over, if you guys on IG, switch over to YouTube to look at the video and let me know if you guys can hear. If you can't stay on Instagram, it's fine. I'll put the volume up. But it's interesting to really show how we are in this day and age. So YouTube, let me know if you guys can hear it in the comment section. Just give me a thumbs up if you can. All right. So here we go.
Today is a size 16, a very uncommon size in the 1950s. What is the reason behind this? In a word, inflammation. We are fed fake, toxic, processed foods. It's seed oil city in every kitchen but our own if we are awake to wellness. And the portions are...
Look at that. See, this is perfect. For y'all that didn't catch this that are just coming in, this video is talking about the average size in America is the 16, which is insane. Insane. All right. The portion size and what we're eating is different than where we were in the 1950s. The 1950s, it was completely different because we were different people. So all of this is showing you something. So on the picture that you guys are looking at, this is called, let me blow it up a little bit bigger so you guys can actually see it. There it is. So this right here is the size. 1950s, the fries were a 2.4 ounce and the sodas was about a 7 ounce. Hamburgers were about a 3.9 ounces. And that's what the portion size were in the 50s. Now you can argue, well, the chemicals and all this stuff is different. All right, well, cool. Let's say the chemicals are there. Cool. Let's fast forward now into today's time. Look at the portion sizes, you guys. You have now 6.7 ounces of fries today. The burgers are 12 ounces. Y'all, they've tripled in size. The sodas, check this out, y'all. The average soda is 42 ounces. Let me just remind y'all of something. Sodas and these drinks, as far as juices, these fake juices, y'all drink y'all's calories more than anything else. Sodas have not doubled, not tripled, not even quadrupled. Sodas are 6 times bigger now than they were in the 1950s. This is insane. Burgers have tripled their size. Fries have doubled in size, over doubled their size. So, granted, the food and the stuff is not the same. Okay, cool. The portions are bigger. Why are we eating more food? We don't have to eat that much food. We're choosing to eat a lot more food anyway. So let's just say the food is all, it's a package deal, right? You're gonna have more calories in processed foods than anything else. There's more damage that comes to the heart and the liver and the arteries on processed foods due to inflammation. What we do in the Black community, we eat a lot of food. These soul foods, these greens and stuff like that. We don't even cook like that no more. So we still have this mindset, even in today's time, but we eat more now. And so a lot of this is we have to take control of this. But I'm saying that because this is outside of our community. This is actually in our front door as far as America goes. All right. Foods have gone through massive changes. Now we're more ultra processed. That pretty much dominates our diet, which is a big problem. There's more pesticides and chemicals in the food. All that in farming has now skyrocketed. There's refined sugar, seed oils, and they're everywhere in these fast foods and in these highly processed foods that we're eating today. Your Pop-Tarts, your cereals, all of these things that y'all like, these Cheetos, potato chips, Doritos, all of these are doing nothing for you but inflammation. Inflammation. Shout out to Tay. She actually answers the question too. She says, I believe our community is big because we've normalized it. It's so normalized that being small is considered unhealthy. Eating healthy is considered dieting. Woo! Listen, you preaching, girl, and I'm gonna show you why you preaching. That goes into my next topic. So if you guys didn't check this, our community is big because we've normalized it. That right there, Wendy, it goes into what you were saying. We've normalized this whole thing. We've normalized being big to the point where we shame smaller women and deem that as unhealthy. Now, listen, I'm gonna put this on the men. Men, we got to do better because what do we say? We want our women thick. We want our women super turbo, thicker than all outside. So what happens is when that's the case, we don't even keep our women in check like that. We don't keep our women in check. So it's up to us to speak up on this and be serious about it. And I'm going to be the one to speak up about it. And here's the thing about this part. When I speak up about it, I would be considered toxic. In today's age, I would be considered toxic if I spoke up and said that our women need to lose weight, our community in general needs to lose weight due to the fact that we've normalized it so much that I'll be the bad guy for pointing out the truth, but it's because we've been told and we've been programmed to think that being big is something normal when it's actually not normal. It's not. So we have to keep ourselves in check. We need to keep our ladies in check. Ladies should check themselves. Men, we need to check ourselves, but we also need to check our community as well as a whole. We have to know the truth. The truth is our foods and our bodies, they're not what they used to be back in the 50s due to the fact that we have a lot more overconsumption of genetically modified foods, and y'all don't know it. Every time you go to the grocery store, I guarantee you most of y'all don't go to the produce. Most of y'all go to the middle of the freaking food section where there's expired dates, where there's packaged foods. A lot of that stuff is genetically modified food, and y'all don't know it due to the fact that that's just what y'all were told and brought up to do and continued to live like, thinking that it's healthy because that's what's that's what's been told to us from our doctors and stuff. But the truth is, we need to get back to whole foods. We actually cooked our food. We actually went and got the greens. We went and got the lettuce. We went and got the onions. We went and got all these different foods, the carrots, everything, so we can cook it. Okay? I don't want to hear no excuse. Well, there's pesticides on the food. Clean them off then. Stop being lazy. Black people, and I'm going to speak to black people because this is what I see in general. We so damn lazy. We are so lazy. We can't even cook no more. Remember back in the day when we always used to go to grandma's house or granddaddy house or just family as a whole, we cooked. So when I grew up, I'm going to tell you how we grew up. Everybody had a dish to make. Somebody made the greens. Somebody made the sweet potatoes. Somebody made the regular potatoes. Somebody made the meats. You know what I'm saying? And we brought it together. And the ladies was serving in the kitchen. All right, you do this. Auntie do that. Grandma do this. Mama do that. This, that, and the third. So we were cooking. And it took time to cook. I remember it took a while to make this stuff. We don't make this stuff no more. We don't make this anymore at all. And from a young age, this is what I've seen. But I also realized that other families did it a little bit different. And even growing up, we got a lot more lazy because we don't organize like we used to. Now, that might be going a little bit off topic, but I'm getting to the point of what Tay said because our community has normalized being big so much to overeat. And the truth is we overeat, but the portion size are bigger, so we're eating more food. So we overeating on the bad foods. That's the main point. Shout out to Brittany. She says, that's very true. We need to celebrate a healthy image in itself instead of vanity, which has promoted unhealthy weight for women and unhealthy ways to achieve such images. I give an example. We've normalized going up under the knife to get a BBL. That's crazy. That's big crazy to the point where, I mean, if you think about it, we overeat and we've normalized being big so much that, I mean, gosh, even if they go get a BBL, it's an oversize. Why are we supersizing everything? We supersize everything, and that's the problem right here. We hear the word supersize and we think gimme, 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 but y'all are over consuming because I'm gonna tell you what happens when y'all over consuming gimme, gimme, gimme. When your body eats supersize, your stomach can only hold so much food as a human. So I can't hear you sit up here and tell me that we're supposed to be eating a bunch of food because that's not the case. We're supposed to eat what our bodies are designed to do. Do y'all know what happens when y'all overeat food? I hate to say it like this. Your body stores it as fat, y'all. I mean, it's so simple and it's funny to say it like that because y'all don't even catch it. Your body is only going to eat a certain amount of foods. You trick your mind into thinking that you need to eat more food because, and I've done this too, I've been tricked in my mind to finish my plate no matter what's on the plate. We need to eat till we're content. And I think we've lost that connection to where we're overeating to where we're stuffing ourselves. When you stuff yourselves, that food is getting stored away because your body goes into survival mode. Survival mode means that in times of hardship, when their food was scarce, your body has been designed to store food for later so that way it can save our lives. But we're living in such good times that we have food in abundance. We have food in abundance. And what happens now is your body doesn't know that we have food in abundance. So it's still programmed the way that it's designed to do. Why? Because we're not designed to be overeating in proximity like this. You're not supposed to be overeating like this, not as a norm. Not as a norm. Shout out to Brittany. She says, this is because overeating leads to obesity, and obesity leads to other morbidities. Let me see. Oh yeah, morbidities such as hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, and a shorter lifespan, which is true. Big Pharma makes billions off of sickness, which is also true. You dig? Shout out to my man Kel's in the building, man. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Wendy. She says, I recognized as a young child I was an emotional eater because of being picked on. Because back then, being a little heavy, they laughed and picked so bad, and I go to my emotional. And so here's the thing about that too. We have to be told to lose the weight, but we have to be taught this in our households to catch us before we even get that far. So my point in this is saying that if we promote a healthy lifestyle early, we will catch it to where we won't be too big. We won't be too heavy, right? And it's unfortunate because at a young age, we're kids. We don't know any better. All we're doing is doing what our parents told us to do. So now that we know better, we have to understand that we have to let go a lot of these. This is why the topic right tonight is self-love. We have to love ourselves enough to go out, to exercise, and to do the right thing so we don't have, like Brittany said, these complications early or later in life. So we catch it early so we don't have to go through hardships later. Think about it like your car. You don't take your car to the shop when something's wrong. You take it to the shop for maintenance work so that way you reduce the problems later. Your body works the same way when it comes to working out. Shout out to Brittany. Says, Wendy, most people that overeat are emotional eaters, but you must surround yourself around people that are going to uplift you and encourage you to move forward to what's healthy. I totally agree. And shout out to Tate. She says, what are some strategies for breaking a cycle of overeating? I'll tell you some strategies. Don't eat. I need to stop eating so much. You also need to get used to eating whole foods. And here's what I recommend. And I say this all the time. And most of y'all that watch my content know what's up. I tell you guys to do a mostly plant-based diet due to the fact that that eliminates the highly processed foods. Plant-based diet turns your mind into thinking it's not strict, but you know that it comes from a plant source, meaning it's something out of the ground. Go get your onions, go get your zucchini, go get your chickpeas, go get your wild rice. Go get these whole foods so that way you can eat them, because when you eat more whole foods, you lower your calories. And Wendy, I want to show you something because I'm going to show a clip real quick that's going to show you something about portion control. Portion, size, and control. I've shown this before, but I want you guys to see it again because it's so important that we look at this. And shout out to J. Mir Moran, because he shows a lot of these different posts when it comes to calories. Let me show you guys something. If you guys can go to my YouTube, look and see what this is, because this is called portion control. It's going to show you a side that is a bunch of candies and sodas and another side that's whole foods. You got to see how much food this is. Now look at this. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Hold on. Technical difficulties out here in a real way. So check this out. If you guys can see this, Look at this. On the left-hand side, this is 2,400 kcal, okay? And that's calories. 2,400 kcalories. You have a Coke, a regular size canned Coke, some Doritos, some chocolate bars, some Mentos, some chocolate candy, and some cookies. This one plate and soda is 2,400 kcalories. Look at the right-hand side, y'all. This is why I say Whole Foods. This is a regular cooked burger, regular bun, regular tomatoes and lettuce, mostly. Look at that. Mostly. You can barely even see the meat. You can barely see the burger in this. The next plate, it looks like fish, grilled fish, potatoes on the left, tomatoes at the bottom, broccoli on the right. Now, mind you guys, this is a full-size plate. At the very bottom, if you guys can see it, you have lettuce, grape tomatoes, looks like some rotisserie or grilled chicken, black beans, and white rice. Oh, matter of fact, it's something missing too. Boom. And 3 protein bars. All of that is 2,400 calories. And Wendy, and I'm glad you said that, because that's the difference. This is why I say Whole Foods. That's going to save you. If you're going to eat the calories, and actually, Tay, this answers your question too. What are some strategies for breaking overeating? You won't overeat if you eat Whole Foods, because you're going to be full. I guarantee you guys, this just on the right-hand side, those 3 meals, I guarantee you that's all y'all eat in one day. But if you eat that in one day, that's enough calories to last you guys all day. You won't eat nothing else. That's a strategy that you can use to stop overeating. If you're going to eat Whole Foods so that way you can fill your plate, you'll be full. This increases your satiety levels. And shout out to Whitney. She says, I notice even in chewing your food, a lot of people don't chew their food enough for it to digest, even with eating so much food, and that's being ordered. Wendy, that is such a great thing that you said this. That's such a great thing you said this, because, back then we used to chew our food a lot. Y'all. Why? Because we actually had Whole Foods. We had Whole Foods, y'all. And there's a clip that's played about chewing your food and what that did to humans and beauty. I don't even know if y'all ready for this. I'm gonna play a clip real quick that's gonna show you guys something about beauty. But before we do that, I'm gonna get back to the comments, because I really want to get into that one, right? So shout out to Wendy for stating that. Shout out to Brittany. Says, just like it took a village to bring you to this point, it's going to take a village to move you towards what is healthy. I totally agree. Well, lately I learned that life foods such as fruits, vegetables, having a great play in your health, and I'm trying to do some of those and take out some things that I was raised on. I totally agree. Chewing your food and slowing down. Most people eat on the go, which causes them to consume more than what they need. Yes, small changes equal big gains. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small milestone you achieve. And Wendy, and shout out to Brittany, because she's actually giving you real gems, Wendy. That's something serious. And I'm gonna play a clip real quick that's gonna go into what you were saying about chewing your food. Ladies, this is something that will surprise y'all, because this plays into now beauty. This plays into the beautiful faces that we see today. Shout out to Food.Lies. This is their clip. So I want you guys to pay attention to what they say, because this is out of this world. Check this out.
Believe that beauty is genetic and that we've evolved to have the faces that we have. This is wrong. What did this guy, Charles Darwin, think? Well, Darwin realized that faces were changing during his era that wasn't due to genetics or evolution. And it wasn't causing faces to become better looking. It was causing them to become uglier. Darwin realized that jaws were becoming more recessed, and he
Ooh.
also figured out why. Darwin wrote letters to this guy in Italy called Paolo Mazagazza, and this guy in America called Charles Loring Brace. And all of them saw jaws becoming shorter, which was weird
Check this out.
because this had never happened in human history before. All of a sudden, kids needed their wisdom teeth extracted because there was not enough space in the jaw for all their teeth.
Let me know if you guys can hear this, because I promise you're going to want to hear this. Please put a thumbs up if you can hear this live. I'm telling you, he's going to get somewhere. Just keep listening and pay attention.
There had never been a word for this. So what they called jaw shortening, we call jaw recession. Now, here's where it gets weirder. It was only happening to white people who were either upper or middle class. Africans, Asians, Native Americans, they still had room for all their teeth. It was only certain white people of a certain class during this period in history. But those three weren't the only ones who noticed. This German guy, Hermann Schaffhausen, he also saw it independently of the others. He wrote that in civilized, meaning white man, the posterior dental portion of the arch is always shortened.
You see that?
What was happening? Darwin figured out that this change wasn't due to genetics. It was due to upper and middle class white people, and I quote, habitually feeding on soft cooked food and thus using their jaws less.
Bingo. That's it. So remember when we talked about chewing? Upper, middle, white class, Caucasians had jaw recession, causing them to have less beauty. Why? And I quote, this is from them. This is such good content. Men habitually started feeding on soft cooked food and thus using their jaws less. That is what caused a recession in jaws, what we're seeing today, because we're not using our jaws the way we should have been due to our diets. Notice this wasn't happening in the African American community like that, because we was actually chewing our food because it was actually natural foods. Oh, this ain't done. He's going to go into a deep discussion. Keep paying attention. Like and share this out to all y'all's peoples right now. Shout out Brittany says, what you don't use, you lose. I'm just like, pay attention to this game, and we're going to discuss this, y'all. We're going to discuss this.
This change wasn't happening to other races because they weren't mainly eating cooked meals yet. So we have 4 different societies in 4 disparate parts of the world encountering the same thing at the same time because of the same environmental pressure. All these 4 countries, the UK, the USA, Germany, and Italy, experienced people getting less attractive at the same time because they didn't chew enough with their jaws. This isn't an evolution thing. This is a facial forces thing. Facial forces are how we use the face. They define whether we are more or less beautiful.
Look at that, y'all. I know you guys can't see it on Instagram, but good Lord. If you guys click over to YouTube, he shows the jaws and the skeletal face. They were much wider and longer. I'm exaggerating. I'm giving you guys a visual. This is how our teeth were they look so great. Our jaws were great because we chewed more because of the whole foods. Back then, certain races were not cooking food that much, so they were forced to eat more of a raw diet. Avocados, fruits, vegetables, they chewed it because it was raw. They didn't have to cook it. It wasn't soft. So they used their jaws a lot more. They exercised it. But their health was better too. So they become more beautiful when it comes to facial symmetry. You want to have a more facially structured, symmetrical face. You want to eat more raw foods that's going to allow you to chew more. So you can break the food down. And when you swallow it, that's what goes down into your system. But here's the best part. It's also lower in calories. Shout out to B. This is where it comes to increasing your metabolism. More volumes of food is what you eat to increase your metabolism, which also goes into fat burning. So that, when this answers your question, when it comes to overeating and having your healthy change, switch it over to a mostly plant-based diet. Like I was saying, you don't have to cook that much food anymore. You really don't. you use your jaws more. Eat more fruits and vegetables that are raw, you use your jaws more, and that also helps align your face. Oh, they keep going. This video is much longer. Check this out.
Whether we maintain the beauty potential that we're born with, or it slowly but surely slips away between birth and adulthood. Now, because almost everybody alive today eats predominantly soft cooked meals, every race, every class has this problem of jaw recession. And the worst thing is, because everyone who experienced this change before is dead, we have no collective memory that this matters. Now, most people born today have jaws that are too small for all their teeth. Wisdom tooth extraction is now the most common surgery in America. But before the 1870s, it was unheard of. This did not happen.
Y'all, look at that skeleton. Look at all those teeth. We had so much more teeth back then because our jaws were much more used and defined. Our jaws ain't that big, so we're not using our teeth that much. Hence, that's why I got to take these wisdom teeth out. Think about those wisdom teeth surgeries. They're becoming more surgically common now. Ooh-wee. Oh, we're going to get to this.
People's jaws grew outwards instead of getting recessed. Before the Industrial Revolution, lots of the food we ate was raw. Most of it was tough, so tough that it needed lots of chewing. And no one at all needed their wisdom teeth extracted back then. It was not a thing that happened.
You see that? Apparently, orthodontists and dentists were rarely necessary in the Stone Age. God dang.
You know this from the skull record. Take this 12th century Norwegian man or this Black Death victim from the 14th century. All of their teeth are there. They're all perfectly aligned.
Wow.
And we see something that we never see today. Tooth wear from all the chewing that they had to do. How they ate impacted how their faces developed. And this has been true from when humanity was born 200 or 250,000 years ago up until the Industrial Revolution. After that, how we ate and what we ate changed so dramatically that it's made our faces uglier. Chewing forces are in fact only one of 4 ways that facial beauty.
So here's the beauty quadrant. And ladies, y'all want to pay attention to this. The beauty quadrant is mouth posture, how to eat, body posture, and swallowing. Chewing the food, aka real food, plays a role when it comes to the beauty quadrant. That is insane for y'all that did not know this. So to answer your question, like I said, when it comes to we're not chewing enough food, you're correct. It's due to us not eating properly. We're eating all this processed foods. It's easy to eat. We're not really chewing anything. Raw vegetables, you gotta crunch it. You have to crunch it. Broccoli, crunch it. You really have to use your jaw muscles, long story short. Anyway, the next beauty quadrant is proper breathing. What to eat and when to eat. Having vitamin D, going outside, you got to walk, and exercise. Beauty, health quadrant. Those are the things that we promote here at Rise and Rise Academy. Eating proper foods, getting enough sunlight. I walk every day, y'all. I walk 2 to 3 miles every single day. Every day. And I work out. So I go get my vitamin D. I go get my sunlight. So the demographic of people, I walk out in the cold and I walk out in the sun. When the last time y'all seen brothers and sisters that look like me and you go outside and walk in the sun? Like, seriously. I always hear this, and it's so funny. They always say, man, it's too hot. I ain't about to walk outside. You crazy, because that's what's going to benefit you when it comes to your health and beauty standard. This is insane. Shout out to Bridge says, yes, small. Oh, I already read that. Let's keep it rolling. Yes. We see in patients that are immobile, when you are less mobile, you lose full range of motion, and some people even get contracted in set positions, and once this happens, you can't reverse it. That's crazy, but it's true. So what this man is saying is differently the truth about the mouth, And this also holds true for other parts of the body, which is true. If you don't use it, you lose it. But here's the thing. We don't even know that we're losing it. Because we're still eating, we're still chewing, but it's not as often as we need it to. That's the real deal. So in order for you guys to realize this, we got to get back to the basics. The basics are eating whole foods, mostly plant-based foods. And we have to exercise, meaning lift weights, get your cardio in at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. You got to walk at least 2 miles a day, get your steps in. These things are highly important when it comes to your health. Getting sunlight. Whole foods are going to lower your caloric intake, but it's going to increase your volume of food to increase your metabolism, which also goes into fat cutting. But if you're lifting weights, you'll also aid that into fat cutting and keeping that consistent. You will now go into a place of how your body is designed. And for ladies, y'all won't be this big. Like that lady that's 400 something plus pounds. Y'all won't be that big if you're doing the right things. And this is why I say self-love is the key. So I'm going to play this final clip about Louis Farrakhan talking about self-love. And it's so important because he goes into health. So shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on this clip right here. Let me know if you guys can hear it in the comment section. Let's go.
Now, to take care of this. Well, what you mean? You're supposed to exercise if you love yourself.
Uh-oh.
What kind of walking did you do? What kind of exercise did you do? Did you get on a bicycle? Did you do something physical to keep this physical anatomy in good working condition? Lord, you didn't do that. Oh, I'm very busy. I'm too busy. I'm very busy. I'm a doctor. I got a lot of patients, man. I ain't got no time for that. I'm a teacher. I got to study, get my lesson plans out and everything. I ain't got no time for no exercise. Well, you got time to die.
Woo!
So just as you got enough medical science to be a good doctor, it's the big one.
Whoa, he just called out the doctors. Oh, I ain't got time to work out. I got to study. I ain't got time to work out. I got to take care of blah, 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 blah. Well, like he said, if you ain't got time for exercise, then you got time to die. Now, he went in for a good reason. Why? Because exercise is self-love.
You out of here with a heart attack because you didn't love yourself enough to do good to yourself.
You didn't love yourself enough. And this is the whole point of this entire topic. Love yourself enough to take care of your health. That is the main topic. Shout out to Wendy. She says, well, in speaking of you, the miles that you walk, my uncle's 83 years old, and he does 5 to 10 miles a day. And shout out to your uncle. And he only deals with his blood pressure, and that's not even often. Well, you can understand the importance of walking and the purpose of exercise. Shout out to Minister Louis Farrakhan. Exercise is self-love. Self-love. And quite frankly, I'll be doing much more cardio too. But I want to extend that to everybody else because he's 83 and can walk 5 miles. I want to see us that are not 83 do the same thing. So let's promote walking. Let's promote working out. Let's promote eating properly. Shout out to Fit for the Culture for the content, because I think that was something that was extravagant and right on time for this comment and for this video when it comes to self-love. Let me finish up the video.
You don't love yourself enough to take care of this. Well, what you mean? You're supposed to exercise if you love yourself. Uh-oh. What kind of walking did you do?
So, shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All right. So, I challenge everybody, right? We need to speak about getting our health intact. Black men, we need to be speaking seriously about our health. We need to go to the doctor, know what's going on, come back, work on the issues. Come back and work on the issues. We need our black women to get smaller. We need to have a different mindset when it comes to being healthy. We have to understand that being a proper weight is the key. Proper weight for your BMI is the key. All right. You have to look at your height. You have to look at how old you are and know what weight you need to be at. And my thing is, I want you to work out, lift your weights. Why? Because then you'll have more muscle than fat. At that point, the weight doesn't matter because you'll have more muscle than fat at this point. Most of y'all are not going to be muscled up like a bodybuilder. So when you have more muscle than fat, that means you're going to burn more calories throughout your day. So it's very difficult for you to gain a lot of weight specifically. So the transition to changing to mostly muscle is you need to lose weight to the point where you get into a BMI scale of where you're supposed to be. At that point is where you start to gain more muscle. Okay. That's why losing weight is important. Why? Because losing weight is important to limit your risk of cardiovascular issues and other organ issues, such as Brittany pointed out, the chronic issues. So you have to eliminate that. You have to get into a proper weight first. Next, you want to strength train so you can build more muscle. Then at that point is where you start to develop the change of consistency, and not only consistency, but you start to turn your life around completely. So for ladies, this is how you're going to get your curves. So you're going to see most of this toning when it comes to that. So I challenge you guys to have a healthy mindset of a good fit weight. Your good fit weight is according to your BMI. You can use a TDEE calculator to determine where you're supposed to be. This will calculate your total daily expenditures. So that's your energy. Total daily energy expenditures. That's going to be your key. Write that down. There's a website, tdeecalculator.com. Use that so that way you can get into your weight where you're supposed to be so you can cut. Next thing I will promote is to get a personal trainer. If you're looking for one, go to my IG. It's right at the bottom, King Alajuwan 21. Click on the link and get a consultation with me so we can run through everything. We can run through it all. You dig? Shout out to my man Showtime in the building. What's going on, big dog? Man, I wish you was in here earlier, man. We about to get up out of here. I'm just losing closing remarks. So I want you guys to realize that we need to have a different mindset on how big we are in the community. We need to be honest. The truth is, our culture, as far as the Black community, we are bigger now than we ever have been. So we need to be cautious of that, and we need to do something about it. Nobody's going to do something about it except for us. So we must maintain a level of honesty. We must maintain a level of character. We must maintain a level of morale. And what that also means is we need to repent and say, I've done some things that I should not have done, which is overeat and overconsume. And I'm not going to blame anybody else, because Black people, we are the first ones to play victim. That is keeping us overweight. That's keeping us in these depressed issues. Depression is a state of mind and a state of belief. Don't believe depression. If you believe that you can do something about it and that you will do something about it, that's going to change your mindset and out of depression to where you can do something about it. Okay. So that's the main thing about it. We need to stop being lazy. Get up off our butts, wake up in the morning, go to the gym, eat properly, get into a fitness lifestyle. And I say fitness lifestyle because you don't want to look at eating food like diet. Shout out to Tay, because she says that eating healthy is considered a diet. No, eating healthy is just normal eating. Eating healthy is what we're supposed to do. That's not a diet. That's recommended. That's mandatory. Shout out to my West Coast boys. It's mando. It's mando that you eat whole foods, especially for us black people. So for y'all don't know, the game is for black people, for us to be healthy, we need a lot of oxygen and we need a lot of iron. And I know this is different. I'm about to break it down real quick because I ain't got time to break it down fully. That's a whole separate show. Eat foods that are going to get you high levels of iron. Eat foods that are going to give you high levels of oxygen. Marinate with that. Sit on it. Do your research. Come back to me with questions. I'll break it down for you even more. But for us, that's going to get us to a healthy state of mind. Health is really wealth. Self-love is everything. Self-love is everything, and self-love means you have to exercise. We become more beautiful that way. We have a better spirit that way. So many different benefits that come with that. So we need to get out of this toxic mindset of being big is normal. No, that's not normal. That's actually wrong. Call out the fact that if we're overweight, call it out saying that is bad. That's disgusting. We need to change. Call it out from our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, everybody. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just live a healthy life already. And what tends to happen is people will then start to think differently too. And even if they don't, they'll come to terms with it when you're living a healthy lifestyle because that's normal. Normalize healthy living versus normalize being big. And that's a hashtag. You can tell them I quoted that one. Shout out to Tay. She says, shout out to you, Cobe. Your show is so informative. And I love that you get on here weekly and spread the gospel of health and fitness. Thank you. You're very knowledgeable and the community could learn a wealth of information by following you. Absolutely. And I appreciate you, Tay, for saying that because it doesn't go unnoticed. And I appreciate the small stuff because if I can help at least one person, I feel good. My goal is to help at least one person time after time, chopping away at the block. So that way our community as a whole can be better. All right. And so I will leave y'all with that. Tune into next week's show. We got a lot still coming for y'all. We cooking that heat. And today's sponsor of the show is chickpeas. 25 grams of protein. So when y'all say, well, what protein do you get when you vegan? Chickpeas, playboy. All right. When we're faced with an obstacle, you know what we do. We rise and we rise. Peace out.